We watch Agatha All Along's finale episodes 8 and 9. Follow Me, My Friend, / To Glory at the End, and Maiden Mother Crone. I thought for like a show finale, it probably is like one of the best like endings that also like ties into the rest of the show, you know? Because I feel like with Loki, like it's very enjoyable, but it doesn't really tie up the whole show for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of plots and that just didn't really wrap up that well for me, but
I have to say that thinking like, geez, like Billy.
Wiccan?
Or just him, because it's stuff that I remembered that was in his room, especially the Yellow Brick Road stuff and things like that. And until that episode, it didn't occur to me that it was him all along making this happen. Maybe I shouldn't say that earlier in this.
yeah,
but,
I mean,
you know,
you're the one ruining the episode.
I guess. I'm sorry. But it's like, it was like, holy crap. That was like, and I didn't know if I liked it or not. Now, after a few days thinking about it, I'm like, it makes sense.
I found it really cool that when we just look around his room and every little detail is like, holy shit. It's So it's not technically Agatha all along. It's Wiccan all along.
Yeah.
Which is just blew my mind.
I guess it is interesting that he has fucking reality warping powers like his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if he does or not in the
Yeah,
comics.
he does.
He does in the comics?
He has the ability to change.
Gotcha.
things.
Well,
Okay.
pretty much like the way his powers work in the comics is just like he keeps repeating like what he wants to happen until it happens. So he's just like, if he
Power
wanted
of
you to
manifestation.
turn into a fish, he'd say, turn to a fish, like 1,000 times. So yeah, I do like there were a lot of hints throughout the whole thing. Like we were kind of wrong about the subway system. Because like we had no idea what it was really. I thought it was like something Loki-ish or Doom, but it just turned out to be
Tunnels under the house.
yeah, the remnants of the subway system of Westview. And even like the yellow like lights and stuff, the wires, it was just like for the grow lights
Yeah.
in her basement.
As a series with a beginning and an end, the acting, the writing, and everything was great. I personally feel Marvel fucked us over so bad because my big thing about the whole series was the potential that it had, and they kind of closed the fucking door on everything. There's no Witch's Road. No. That was all his imagination.
That's right.
Which I thought, I actually thought that was very cool. You know, that was just a con that she created.
Yeah.
She knew there was no Witch's Road.
Well, she said it herself. I was going to kill him in the basement.
Right. That was just another way to get
Yeah.
their powers. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I accepted that. That was episode 8.
Yeah.
Right? Up until the very end where he looked around his room. So I was kind of like, all right, you just closed off every fucking possibility in my mind of where this show can go. And, you know, the mention of Mephisto's agent and never showing up anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, the possibility that the Witch's Road was real and, you know, there could be others brought in. You know, they fucked us over again. They gave us a great story. Lilia's episode was probably the best television.
And it's going to be award-winning, I
Yeah,
guarantee.
that was the best television episode I think I've watched in fucking 20
And
years.
she knocked it out of the park.
Patty LuPone was awesome. All the actresses were
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, I got into Jen's character too, you know, eventually becoming the High Priestess, whatever. Even, was it Alice? Was the protector?
Yeah.
You know, even when death came to take her, and she just, you know, just casually, you know, said, "I thought I just finally got rid of the curse." You know, now I'm gone. And she said, "You're a protecting witch, and you died protecting someone." Even that, you know, you have death there. When he had asked Agatha, "Is Wanda Maximoff dead?" and she's like, "Yes, no, maybe." You have fucking death there. You could have turned around and asked that.
Yeah.
You know, so even the tease that Wanda may still be alive, they just closed it right the fuck off. You took every potential I had for Midnight Suns getting together or Wanda coming back at the end of the road in some form. Give us a little glimpse of beginning to end. That series was fantastic. Well written, well acted. I mean, perfect. But when it comes to potential for where this goes now in the MCU, I personally don't give a flying fuck if they find Tommy. It don't do nothing for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they're bringing
You know?
it for the next
and,
show.
And I know Vision Quest or whatever it is going to be next. I don't even give a fuck for that.
Did you give a fuck about Agatha all along a few months ago?
I did because I thought it was going to go somewhere other than where it did.
Okay.
I even her background story. Where was she? I'm assuming she's in Europe.
I don't even know.
I don't think
it has
was
to
it
be.
Europe? It had to be, I guess, back then because of the
Is it
civilization.
not-
It was not the United
It
States.
wasn't the U.S.
Yeah. It
Right? If
couldn't
she's
have been.
400 years old or
Yeah.
whatever. You
No.
know?
So like
It-
Salem.
Those 1750
No, yeah.
U.S. She could have been.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely
no,
could have been
she
U.S.
been.
back then.
You know,
Yeah,
but-
that
1750.
definitely was.
So we weren't really America. We were just.
The colonies, yeah.
The
He was like, he was
Yeah.
like 10 years old when he died.
I think he was 8.
Yeah, I think he was 8. But even that, her background was okay. You know, you get to see the shit that she was doing.
Yeah, and that was right after she killed her coven.
Yeah, but we don't even know why she had to kill her coven. Like what she did that her coven turned against her.
Well, wasn't it her mom wanted her power?
I
Yeah,
thought
but we
that's
don't
what it
know
was.
why. I mean, I know her
Well, I
mom
mean,
said
why
she
did-
should have killed her at
Yeah.
birth because she was that. She felt she was that evil.
Yeah.
But we never really saw that evil.
I guess, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Agatha, you know, going up against the Scarlet Witch. So apparently she's got power.
Yeah, I mean, she
Yeah.
killed fucking thousands of covens almost. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but
Yeah, not thousands. But
and like I said, and totally the ending of just making her the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming back as a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, you just who gives a shit? That's not Agatha. That's not Agatha going forward.
That
as-
annoyed the hell out of me. Seeing her when she'd boot and it's just her as a spirit, I was so disappointed.
Well, she's going to be probably in the upcoming episodes of Vision as a
I'm
ghost.
sure.
Yeah. But like I said,
Yeah.
now what's the new quest for them? Let's go find Tommy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're going to go into Vision Quest just thinking it's going to be Tommy, but then it's going to be like a whole Young Avengers type thing.
Yeah.
I have a
Mhm.
feeling that's going to happen as well.
See,
I
my
can see
my
that.
thing for Marvel, we had mentioned it about the universe killing villains. You know, we had Thanos already. I had thought that the switch was going to be more to like the Daredevil type. I had hoped that the switch was going to be after Werewolf by Night, was going to bring in that aspect. And that's what I kind of thought Agatha was going to help us along with. But they just fucking ended it.
I do agree in the sense that like we've been teasing a lot of the supernatural side, and everything in this show is kind of pointing that we would continue that, and I don't know how going forwards Agatha could really continue to tie into the supernatural stuff.
Right.
Because of, you know, the tie-in to Vision Quest.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's going to have like almost nothing to do with the supernatural stuff. She and herself and Wiccan are supernatural.
Right.
But I don't
And
think...
she's not really, she's just a ghost. She doesn't
I
emulate
don't-
any power.
I don't mind that because I'm thinking of it from the perspective of like Agatha has had her time now in 2 shows basically where she's been a pretty central character. She was the main character of her own show. And now I think we're progressing to a point where it's like Wiccan and eventually Speed and these Young Avengers are all going to kind of come together, and she's going to be a supporting role to kind of push Wiccan's story forward and Tommy's story forward.
Yeah. Not doing it for me.
Yeah. She also, in the comics, she does eventually take on this form.
Yeah, as Wanda's
spirit
spiritual
guide.
Yeah, I know, but there was so much shit that they could have had way
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah, I have to agree. They
Yeah.
could have done a lot more with her, but that's kind of just like an MCU thing.
I
Yeah.
don't know when we're going to see a single, like, supernatural thing
No.
again. You know?
I also feel like it might be weird if like she's actually in the Vision show, you know?
Mhm.
Just
I feel like she has
a
to
weird
be.
character.
I think she's
being
going
that,
to be.
you know. Just
And
like
I'm
a
sure it's going to be
ghost.
leaked eventually, but I had heard that the post-credits scenes,
Mhm.
Marvel killed.
Yeah.
That the director, you know, the producer
Had
had originally
multiple
had in
written,
it. Right,
yeah.
had multiple post-credit scenes.
I feel like it might even be a thing where like they were maybe parts of it were like tied into the rest of the show,
Yeah.
you know?
Overall, finale episode kind of felt to me like a very extended post-credit scene.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a post-credit scene for this would be, you know? Because, like you said, I don't think we're
It's going anywhere.
going to the Mephisto stuff.
Did we ever see
Right.
where Jen flew to at the end?
No.
No.
She just
No.
flew into the distance.
I
She
did
just-
mention to you guys, she, in the comics, is the cousin of Johnny Blaze.
I almost wanted just a scene of like Billy and her just like hugging or something.
Mhm. But then, like, even her, it's like, I mean, I guess there's clearly, like, a point to her being a surviving character. They, like, showed her
There's no doubt.
going
Correct.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the hell are we ever
I know.
seen her?
They left us.
You
What
know.
was it
Well,
that
me
Agatha
anyway.
Into
did
the
to her again?
sunrise, she goes off, you know?
How did
Yeah.
Agatha take her power for 100 years to like prevent?
Bound her.
She
She
bound,
bound her, basically, yeah.
Oh, but it
And
was
she
like an
doesn't remember doing
automatic
it.
thing, right?
It's Agatha, I think she said, I didn't know you were in Boston.
Yeah.
When she cast the spell.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen obviously didn't know who it was because she would have approached her earlier, and that's why she was so friggin' pissed.
Yeah.
You're the one that she thought it was the doctor, and she couldn't understand why the doctor could do it without magic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, again, Jen's character is interesting enough to carry forward.
Yeah.
And they kind of let her just
Yeah.
fly off.
It just feels like this thing with like even the X-Men where like they haven't like done a full like X-Men movie yet, and I feel like it's just something where like it's weird. But I also have to disagree about Wanda. I feel like we kind of got she isn't really dead the same way Billy didn't really die, because like death can't take her.
Well, in the same way that she can't accept
Billy.
facing her son,
Yeah.
Wanda can't accept.
Is it her
not
son
having
that she
her
was
kids.
talking about?
The fuck are you talking about?
Well, no, I'm just saying like
You think
death
Mephisto,
can't
right?
Maybe
take
it's
Wanda
Mephisto.
That's
without
what I
Wanda
also-
going to death.
Yeah, that
the
could,
same way
that's
Billy
a good
did.
possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how she let her son down
No.
because she has absolutely no control over death.
Yeah.
She actually gave him,
Yeah, it seemed like it was
Additional
worse than it
years.
was that she gave him away and this
And
and
she
that. But
wasn't-
she actually,
That's
the only time she didn't kill is when he was taken.
Right.
She had to kill every day to give her bodies.
Yeah.
right?
And the day that she didn't kill witches and
Right.
give death bodies, her son was taken.
That's actually an
And that was
interesting
actually at
theory.
the request of her son.
Yeah.
Her son, remember,
Yes.
said we can kill witches tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, they were in
Yeah.
that pub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that at all. Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's a
probably
good connection.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that one
But she
day
was-
that she missed.
She was
She didn't
actually-
give bodies. She had to kill every day.
Wow. I did not make that connection.
But she didn't know that either.
No.
I mean, that was probably the only thing keeping her son with
Yeah.
her.
Wow.
Is that
Yeah.
death
Because-
was taking bodies.
Right. That actually
4, 5,
told her
6
I
at a
can
time.
give you time,
Yeah.
but she
Yeah.
never told her how much time.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. It's like the same thing as like fucking Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, what did you do though that was that fucking bad? Like his, I guess I can connect the dots more, but like, what did she do that was like so much worse? You know,
Who?
She,
That child-
Agatha, she didn't sacrifice him.
That child was both Death's and Agatha's
Yes.
child.
Yeah,
You think?
I know.
it is for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
100%.
positively. Yeah.
100%.
You know why? Because I have a feeling she visited him every night because he was not
Dressed
afraid
as
of
she
her.
was when
Yeah.
she came. She was dressed in purple?
No, green.
Green, I'm sorry. She was dressed in the green and that nice dress.
I don't
and
think
everything.
that he was at all afraid of her,
No.
and it seemed like they.
She even
We're
sent
to-
them back to
to-
kiss
yeah,
her.
yeah. It
That's
seems
right.
like
It was
that's something they
come,
did
and then she went,
often.
Yeah. Go.
and the kid went back and kissed Agatha, and then
I have a feeling that they did that probably every night, and then this one specific night they just didn't come back.
Yeah.
So the thing that Death was saying she didn't want to do, but like was forced to do or
Yeah.
whatever, that was keeping him alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You think?
No,
No.
taking him away.
It was when she
probably.
took him.
I mean,
That's
it
what she
seemed like. So why did she ever do that then?
because she had to.
he should have been taken at birth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
And the only
originally,
thing
did.
can
She was
give
running
her
from
time.
death to have the child.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
so
she
that's
did a
what I'm
lot of
saying.
Oh,
evil.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she wiped out quite a few covens, and I love that looking back. And then when she finally got to the current coven,
Yep.
Oh,
she was so shocked that the
Yeah,
door
the
was
door
there.
Yeah. She's like, oh shit.
And then you know she does immediately pick up on the fact that it's Billy.
Yeah.
I
She
think.
knew, right?
Yeah.
She knew through the whole.
Because like you even get that smirk at the camera.
Right.
But at that point, she thought that this was her son. She
Yeah.
didn't know it was Billy then. I think the whole
You're
time
right.
she thought it was, because then there was that turning point when she was away from the group talking with him. That it was her son, and then
Death told
Death
her.
said,
Yeah.
that's
So
not
when
my son.
when do we think she picks up on the fact that he's a Maximoff?
And in the trial for Agatha, after that, when they came out, that's when she figured it out. He
What?
had the power,
Oh yeah.
and you're nothing,
Yeah, I
not
think-
anything
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
mother.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Yep.
What do
I
we
don't
think,
know.
You're just like your mother.
I feel like
yeah.
there were other hints before that.
she had that line. She tells him,
They have
"If
the
you
same
weren't
tell.
a Maximoff, it wouldn't be so dramatic."
Yeah, and she mentions they
Yeah.
have the same tell. I don't know what the tell is. Maybe the heck situation of it all.
Also, I wanted to point out a detail I noticed. This is like from the second episode now that like I just am now realizing, but the order they go into the Witch's Road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's first Billy because he created it, and then it's Lilia, Alice, then Miss Hart. Opposite order of which they died.
Something that I saw pop up on my feed was a callback to WandaVision. There's a scene where Billy and Tommy are talking with Wanda, and Agatha's right behind them. And then I think it's Tommy that says to Wanda, like, "You can do anything. You can even bring back the dead." And then Agatha goes, "You can do that?"
Wow.
Yeah. So that's just like a callback where she's thinking of Nikki
Wow.
all the way back then.
Nicky Scratch.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't love the way that they origined the name
Yeah.
Nicholas
Yeah.
Scratch. Like, I made you from scratch.
Yeah, it was like a Disney live action remake type moment.
Right. Like I said, I'm so fucking disappointed.
I'm not as
No.
disappointed as you are because I'm still excited to see where this goes. I also think it's great writing and the most logical way to flip-flop Agatha's character and Billy's character from sidekick to lead.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the way that they did that, and it makes the most sense, and it's actually, I think it's actually like a good power scaling situation for Agatha. It's like, how else would you make her, not as powerful and put her in a sidekick role?
And
Well,
it's part of the comics. I mean,
Yeah.
she
Well,
was the ghost in the comics.
This is, for me, it's far off from the comics because she actually was a powerful witch that was babysitting for the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, she is alive for a long time in the comics before
Yeah.
we even get to
Yeah,
this ghost
yeah.
stuff.
But, so for me, this Agatha is different than the Agatha I knew it from the comics.
And the comics that I'm referring to are, I think, as recent as like 2015.
Right.
So that's pretty recent.
Yeah. But again, like I said, they could have, not knowing what the post credits were at all, but they could have, for me, given me a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what they were. I don't think we'll ever find out just because of the way Marvel operates.
Yeah. This was WandaVision through Billy's mind because he basically created this whole world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But again, writing wise, like I said, Lilia's episode, every episode was good. Lilia's episode was like, wow.
Yeah, you raise a great question, like what even the fuck is going to happen in Vision Quest?
Yeah.
Like
Like I
Jack,
said, I
you
just
know,
think it's
Young
going to be them
Avengers. Pre-Young Avengers.
kind of
Right.
secretly or just like without realizing, like founding the Young Avengers.
But then, like, you even have Kamala Khan.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
recruiting
saying, like, that they could link up with them.
Kate
Because, like,
Bishop, yeah.
what happens in the comics is, like, Vision dies and then comes back to life. And then it activates some sort of thing where, like, there's no Avengers. So he has to found the Avengers because that's something in his programming. So it might be that because, like, there's no
Yeah, there
Avengers
currently
scene
is
right
no
now.
Avengers, yeah.
So,
Oh, I know it's a little different, but maybe this is the second step. Vision, his brain things were based on
Wonder Man.
Simon Williams.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now we have our
And
Wonder
now
Man
we're having
stuff.
a Wonder Man eventually down
Yeah.
down the road.
yeah, I don't know. Because,
I
like,
don't know even what that's going to be.
Yeah.
in the
If
same
they're-
way, Hank Pym created one Vision,
Yeah.
so they didn't do that unless it's like he made it and then the Russians stole it or Hydra
Yeah,
stole it and
I
then
know.
they
There's
stole it from
just so many
Hydra.
Well, what,
branches
didn't,
of
didn't Tony and Bruce create Vision?
They stole what Ultron's based off.
Yes.
And then
yes.
Ultron, yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Convoluted.
Yeah.
Not to get
Fuck,
into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we have no idea where it really comes from. And like I think it's like also based on like the fucking stone itself,
Yeah.
but it's not the stone that he has. So who knows?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the stone and the scepter.
Mm-hmm.
So he correctly guessed Billy's main motivation was about finding himself in Tommy. That was
I
kind of
think
explicit, though.
Dad was more right about that. I'd say.
I, don't
it
know,
was
I feel like that was kind of just
more-
like said out loud.
Yeah, it was said out
show,
loud that
so.
it's just kind of more about finding himself
Yeah.
than it is about Tommy. Tommy just happened to be
And he definitely
into
found
a-
himself.
put into a body because of the
Mhm.
repercussions of that action.
So Tommy was with him all along. I
I
know.
don't know.
You know, it was
Yeah.
kind of because she
Tom
said,
Tommy was in that weird
Well, yeah, it was
multiverse
like-
red space.
It was kind of just like the place between death and
Yeah, and then he forced
Yeah,
him into the
life.
body of a dying child.
Yeah.
I
but
did
he,
actually.
but
that
he
was done
actually
pretty
knew
well.
where he was.
Yeah.
I mean, because she made him. You know,
Yeah.
our breathing
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the same, and you know,
yeah. Sometimes boys just die.
yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
boys just die.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was actually a touching and very well done moment.
I
you know?
loved that.
They didn't
scene.
show the kid's face or anything. They just showed the action. You know, you could figure out what's happening.
the back-to-back lines of Agatha, "Am I
Mhm.
killing this kid to
Yeah.
save Tommy?"
Mhm.
And then him never hearing, "No, sometimes boys just die."
Yeah.
Mhm.
We were wrong that Miss Hart might be Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That was-
our like plus 3,000 long
Yeah.
shot.
Still
Yeah.
don't know.
Mainly James's, by the way, but yeah.
Under the bus.
I actually had the idea of that as well. So.
Sure.
You can all hang me.
This one's kind of meta, but the show would avoid making it mandatory viewing, so that was good at least.
Right.
Disagree. because it's gonna have to be mandatory viewing going into Vision Quest, as far as I'm assuming. But
If people saw the post credits for Miss Marvel, and if I'm right about Vision Quest setting up Young Avengers, and like people know enough, I guess, from the movies alone.
And I think you could sum it all up in the first episode
Yeah.
of Vision Quest.
Well, no, I'm just saying like whatever.
you're
Vision
saying if
Quest,
they didn't watch the show and they had watched the Marvels?
I'm saying from just the movies alone, from shit we've seen in the movies, whenever the Young Avengers are in a movie, I think if I'm right about Vision Quest only setting up Young Avengers, or like that's being the main thing, then like people will know that this is the Young Avengers without being like, where the fuck did these kids come from?
I
you
feel like
know?
they
Well,
would be like, where the fuck did these kids come
Don't
from if
forget,
they
you
don't
still
watch
have
Agatha? And...
Ironheart.
Yeah, I feel like it is also a thing in the comics. Like people didn't like they kind of just appeared on the scene, the Young Avengers, and it was like after House of M.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna do like the Deadpool joke thing where it's like, oh, this is fucking Wiccan from Agatha All Along, episode 8 and 9. Like, not directly say it like they do, but like, yeah, our dad, blah, blah, blah. Some explanation. I feel like I said something where it's like, oh, the road would be bullshit.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
guess
we
you're
all
right.
kind of agreed on that.
Well, no, I don't think we all agreed on it, but like you did. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
so,
I just think it's so odd that the song itself
It was just bullshit.
was made up. First, it was started like the kid was making it up as a nursery rhyme,
and that's why
then it became
eventually
this
she was
big
like,
thing.
"No, it's definitely two."
Yeah.
Trying to say she made it without saying she made it. pretty
Yeah.
much.
Jack and I were cracking up the other night, just picturing that this would be our last episode of Cape Critiquers because we hop around in a circle singing the song, destroying the entire set.
Oh boy, you guys must have been up late.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Down the witch's road.
Fucking stomping the set and everything.
Oh god.
And I assume the Salem 7 is dead.
That was also just such like a weird fucking red herring thing looking back. Because
Yeah.
like,
You mean them as villains?
yeah, just like what, like who even fucking cares?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they
I
did
mean-
nothing the whole time.
Yeah, it was
They
kind of
were
just like
only ever there to like push people forward physically.
Yeah.
It was
Whatever.
strange.
and also makes sense like how they got onto the road.
Yeah.
because like it wasn't.
So like even thinking about it from the sense of like Billy created this, like what even is that in his mind?
I don't know. I like.
A little bit of Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah,
a
I
little
feel-
bit of.
It's almost like I want to say it might just be like them like imagining they're going around town, but it's like I don't know, like South Park Stick of Truth, like kind of like that, where like they're just like fucking up the entire town,
Yeah.
playing their game. Yeah, I don't know. It might just be imaginary almost.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's weird.
But I just find that weird too that no one else knew that this was not reality. Like this,
Yeah.
the Salem
Well,
7.
you gotta
'Cause
think
you-
back to Wanda's hex.
What I'm just remembering is the neighbor saw something was happening, and like the fucking weather was going bad. Death wasn't there, or he couldn't see her, but he could see Agatha. I
could
think.
see the sky turning green, and
Could he see Agatha?
I don't remember. But I mean, they were all within the hex of Wanda, so
Yeah.
clearly people can be rowdy, can be manipulated.
Not again.
No, but like Death
Yeah.
should have known that this isn't real. 100%.
She-
Because
So
she's
she
beyond.
there was
She
this.
did. She did.
She did it.
It doesn't matter to her.
It didn't matter to her. She's just collecting bodies. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
But she even
didn't-
went up to the wall, cut a
just
hole
cut-
in it,
I-
and
yeah,
walked
right,
out.
she just
I
walked
loved
out.
that.
She knew.
Yeah.
I really loved that, and I do love the fact that it didn't just like CGI close back up.
No,
I like
it
the
was
fact
just-
that like Aubrey Plaza probably actually cut like a piece of paper
Right,
Definitely.
And right.
and
That
just
was
walked
cool.
through it.
So she was aware she was walking around Billy's.
Yeah.
It just didn't matter to her.
I feel like she's just a force like beyond any of that shit.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like who cares if it's taking place here or
Yeah,
in
exactly. She
reality.
walked into a hex. She's collecting her bodies. She's moving on, but she's not one to say what the story is or isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought she would help Agatha along since they have a history.
No, because like Agatha just owes her something that she was never repaid for the whole situation with Nicholas Scratch.
But what did she get?
She's supposed to get. Well, she eventually does get Agatha dying.
No, I mean, what did Agatha get? Just her son for an extra 5 or 6 years? That's what she was given. And then she got her son back, though. So, I mean, technically, I would look at it as being even.
Wait,
And
how
I
did
think-
she get her son back?
No, I mean, Death took her body anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she was also supposed to get Agatha eventually as well.
She really wanted Billy, too. And she couldn't take
Well,
him.
she wanted Billy because Billy's not supposed to be alive.
Yeah.
Billy cheated.
Yeah, and she couldn't take him
Yeah.
because then
No,
he
just-
would have
You know, this is
Conscious
where it
reincarnated
gets like
again.
convoluted, and I wonder if this was like rewritten
Yeah.
once they really got showrunners and shit involved, because like it doesn't make sense. Because you're kind of right. Like she is even. Like then why the fuck does she want Agatha then? You know?
Well, do you think originally she was coming for Agatha and like she died during the birth or something? Or like she was gonna?
Maybe.
Because that's kind of what I thought.
Because then it's even like what? Like what did Agatha do that was so bad? Like is she?
Well, she just made, like Death said, it was the only ever treatment somebody's like that has gotten, you know?
True. She didn't.
Maybe she
extend
was supposed to
anybody's-
die during childbirth, and the child was supposed to live, but then like she
So
kind of
maybe-
technically sacrifices the child.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
But it's
That's
like-
what was so bad,
It's
maybe.
never really
Yes.
said
Yeah.
that that's what she did. It kind of just happens.
Yeah.
And like it happens in such a way that it looks like the child was just always meant to be dead.
Yeah.
You know.
And death isn't bad. You know, we got the assumption that she's taking Agatha to bring her to hell. I mean, she took Alice not to bring to hell. She
Yeah.
you know, she died protecting someone. So death is just death. You know, we don't know what the next part of that is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I, you know,
And they
like you
kept
said,
saying
how-
that there's, you know, life and death are two sides of the same coin.
I mean,
Like,
truthfully,
kept saying
like,
stuff
so
like that.
Agatha doesn't necessarily have to do something that bad. It's just maybe, like you said, it was her time and death because they were whatever allowed it.
It is just I don't know. Like I guess you know she's 400 years old or some shit.
Yeah.
Remember, she said, "I want to live a long, long,
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
long, long,
So,
long time."
I don't know. It's just never really said exactly why she's coming for her now.
Right.
What do you think of the moral ambiguity of just like Agatha like did kill like hundreds of people, you know, by taking their power? You know, I feel like that just isn't really touched on that much.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like all is forgiven at the end.
Yeah, because she's dead.
'Cause she's
but,
a
like,
ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. You almost forget that she's evil.
Yeah.
Through her entire life.
Yeah,
She's-
just because like she was kind of nice to this kid throughout
Right.
the show.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it does make me like still like her character and kind of want to see where it goes in this new state.
I guess. Yeah, it's just like crazy. I guess. You know, it's
like
just
how
like
how can you keep evolving this character?
Yeah.
And I get this is an interesting thing to do
yeah.
for sure.
It is kind of just like that effect where like even in like shows about serial killers, like
Yeah.
you'll kind of like the character, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say I'm like bullish on the character of Agatha and where it goes next, but I don't know.
I mean, I was hoping for like Coven of Chaos or something, you know,
Yeah.
keeping all the witches together and using them somewhere else, you know. Or,
It almost reminds me a little bit of the M. Night Shyamalan movie Glass. I know you two
Yeah.
do.
yeah.
Disappointing in the same way where it's like at the end it's like, oh yeah, all the fucking superhero shit was kind of just bullshit because like an underground group curbed it all.
And killed them.
Yeah, I don't know. All the supernatural shit was kind of just bullshit because this kid thought about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, clearly there's more supernatural stuff out there. Werewolf by Night and the Man Thing exist.
Yeah.
Blade exists in some sort of production hell somewhere.
And the Egyptian guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Moon
I just
Knight
want it
is
to
somewhere.
start like connecting, you know.
That's
Yeah, that's
was
what
my
he was looking
whole fucking key.
Yeah.
I think from a studio perspective, they're trying to connect things on a smaller scale now.
Yeah.
Because they clearly, there's things from the past 4 phases that have never been answered, and who knows if they ever will be.
Like I said in that text, this cost $40 million, which is like fucking amazing. Like
Yeah.
even like Echo, that was $40 million too, and like this is such
is
an
so-
improvement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I can understand like why they're not making this like an Avengers level type thing, but like I guess they want to only do $40 million shows now, and that's kind of limiting for like a Midnight Suns type thing. So
Yeah, I'd say my biggest gripe with the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point is that it's not a very interconnected universe for how expansive it is.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it's just, look, I don't want to have to wait 20 years when I'm 85 fucking years old to go to a theater and shit myself so I can see these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they
it's-
got to start weaving stuff
It's
together
just
here.
annoying to me.
In the MCU, what's this timeline of Agatha?
it's 3 years after everything.
After
right now,
Wanda.
yeah. Like I said, it's just like weird that there was like a
So
weird 3-year time jump.
So it's
out of
3 years
nowhere.
after Wanda.
So-
But Wanda was around for how long? How long did she control that city?
Probably like a month-ish.
All right, so Endgame killed the Vision.
well, this is technically then 3 years after Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Vision's
Yeah,
been
'cause
dead for like
Wanda's
8
dead.
years.
Well, that's
Right, 'cause
because where
Wanda's
Wanda
dead.
dies.
Right.
Died until Elizabeth Olsen needs money.
Yeah.
Everything is going towards Secret Wars, but I don't know where all the little pieces are going at this point.
It's a shame because sometimes the little pieces are golden. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like,
Spider-Man especially is so up in the air, especially like given Venom 3. There's symbiote in the MCU, and then there's still a Venom movie. Do you guys plan to watch Venom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I guess maybe we'll talk about that eventually too.
Yeah, well, they were saying that the god of
Null.
Null.
I mean, we knew that from the trailers. Null
Right.
is around.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's only in the post credits. I don't think he
Oh boy.
has any like
But
interaction in
is
the
he
entire
going
movie.
to be a big villain in the MCU?
I don't know.
It's like, but then it's
Sony
like,
wants it to be, I'm sure.
I'm
you know?
sure.
we have
yeah.
like the Spider-Verse 2, which is like its own thing, but yeah, it still is connected to
I know.
Spider-Man in every way.
All right, they're just out there.
Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like the only thing that Noel like actually like his story where he's a major villain.
King in Black.
Yeah, where like just fucking a bunch of like Venoms go to Earth and like Venom just has to become the new protector of Earth against every Venom because like superheroes getting infected by them. That's not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, if I had to put a long shot prediction out for Spider-Man, it's gonna have something to do with Null and the symbiote.
I've heard that apparently Venom 3 is a 10-minute movie
Stretched out
to,
into
like,
like an hour 20.
boy.
yeah,
We're done with Agatha.
Yeah, do you want to slap a rating onto Agatha? Overall rating?
Yeah.
7.5.
I agree with you.
Give it a solid 8.
Yeah, I'm on 8. I really enjoyed, and I'll watch again.
I'm going to give Agatha the series, one-shot series, an 8, 8.5. A fucking 1 for what Marvel did to me anyway. Like I said about, I thought it was going to be a lot
I'm not going to
different.
lie. It left me flat at the end, but then reflecting on it, I see what they're going to do going forward. And it's in, Disney style. We got to sell more, so
Another fucking
we're going to
20
leave
years.
it as a hanger, too. Let's go find Tommy.
The camera turned off. Next episode, we will be doing a news episode reacting to the new slate of trailers for Marvel television and animation. So stay tuned for that. It was Agatha
Have a
all
good week.
along.
Bye.
Bye.